Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen of Madison Maximize Living. If you're having chronic pain or other conditions, wouldn't it be great to know the natural solutions that help? Natural solutions that work right alongside other types of treatment can help you get better faster and prevent the next episode of many conditions. Join co-host Stacy Hansen and myself as we discuss the natural solutions coming up next.
Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking natural remedies for depression today, and I think this is going to be a great topic for people because there are just so many people that are suffering from this. How many people, Dr. Pat?
Well, there's 16 million adults over 18, according to the World Health Organization. 16 million, and even from 12 to 17, there's 2.6 million. So it amounts to 10.7% of kids, 12 to 17, and 6.7% of adults with serious medical depression.
Wow, that's a huge number, and especially, I worry about everyone, but especially those teens too. That's really concerning. That's such a troubling, can be such a difficult time of your life too, to be going through that. So what would you describe depression as? Well,
a major depressive episode is a period of depression for 2 weeks or more. Could you imagine being depressed for 2 weeks? How hard that is? And we're looking at, 10% of our kids, 11% of our kids with that, and about 7% of adults.
Wow, so that's a lot of people that are suffering, and for 2 weeks at a time too. That's
or more.
Or more even. So that's just the minimum. So let's talk about what traditional treatment some of these people might be receiving.
Well, traditional treatment would be exercise, therapy, psychotherapy, seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist, and medication.
Okay, so those are the things that people would traditionally be doing. But this show today, we kind of want to talk about, some of the other things you can do. But I do want to mention too, antidepressants. You've mentioned it on other shows too, that there are some problems with that sometimes. Some of the studies are showing. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Well, they do have a black label warning on them, black box warning, that says caution may increase suicidality or homicidality. And if you look at many of the school shootings and these lone shooters we see, often they've been on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication recently. So that's a concern. They often cause weight gain, agitation, and anxiety. So the treatments themselves are a concern for the depression. And then there was a study published or in the Washington Post, produced it saying, and it was a government study with Mayo Clinic saying that the antidepressants failed to help major depressive episodes in about half the cases. They failed to cure the symptoms. So it's important, I think, to look at a number of the other things that cause depression.
Yeah, because that's a lot of side effects, and it may only help, like you said, the study was showing in maybe 50% of the cases. So that's something to really.
I'd like to think it was more than that, but
it might not be maybe something you'd want to try first. Of course, you want to talk to your doctor about that. But let's talk about some of the things here that might be causing people to fall into depression. What are some triggers? Is it always a life event, or?
It isn't always a life event. There's a lot of things that can affect depression. Chronic stress, which I don't know too many people who don't rate a little higher than they want to on their stress.
Just our society
stress rating,
these days,
emotional problems from the past, divorces, hormonal imbalances, thyroid issues, alcohol. Those are all big things. Toxicity, lack of sunshine. All those things can lead to that. Even food allergies or heavy metal poisoning. All those are important.
So that's a wide variety of things, and something to kind of keep in mind, maybe to check off your list if you're experiencing some of those symptoms. And we're just about to go to break here, but I want to say, just to clarify, there are just times where people just feel sad and it's not depression, right?
Exactly. And you don't want to medicate every sad period. Sometimes you're just sad. You're supposed to be bereaved in a period of the loss of a loved one. So we have to be careful, I think, and we don't always do this too well in our society, where we're medicating sadness that may just be a part of life, too, to some degree.
Yeah, it may just be a part of being human. Well, if you are suffering or you know someone that is, we're going to have more information on how you can deal with this naturally right after this. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking today about natural remedies for depression. We were talking a little bit before the break about what the traditional treatments have been and some of the issues that studies have shown with antidepressants. But again, you want to check with your doctor about that. But let's talk a little bit about what are some of the signals that somebody might have depression. If someone's out there thinking, is this just a sad period of my life like we were talking about, or is this depression?
There's a prolonged lack of interest in everyday activities. There's a feeling of hopelessness and anxiety and worthlessness and guilt and irritability, change in appetite, digestive system problems that don't improve, negative thinking, aches and pains that don't respond. So there's a lot of other issues going on that can trigger bouts of depression.
And you had said to prolonged too, and I think that's probably a good way to maybe know, because it's just been, was this one bad day, or is this something that's been ongoing? That's probably kind of where you can draw a line on that too. So let's talk about some of the natural remedies, because we've been kind of teasing this all along. Let's talk about the power of mindset, because we've had some shows on positive thinking, which were really inspiring. Let's talk about how this can help people that are depressed.
Sure. Well, as I did research on this from a number of different sources, I kept coming up with similar things in similar categories. So on mindset, a routine is really helpful. Having a same routine. Go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. That keeps your chemistry working better. Have a routine. Set a goal, and a goal might just be wash the dishes today. But we always like to celebrate whatever you do. Write it down what you want to do, check it off when you do it, and just celebrate that away. Way to go.
So it gives you that purpose, something, this is what I'm going to do today.
Stay involved. Stay involved in your community. Do something. Go help someone. Pay it forward. Makes a big difference. Challenge negative thoughts. I thought that was a really good one.
What do you mean by that?
So if you're thinking, oh, I'm always losing, or I never get it right, or just challenge those thoughts. Remember a time when you got it right and you were a winner. What's the most successful time in your life? You start thinking this way. You can change things, especially when we put all this together. So you want to challenge your negative thoughts. Guard your mind share, what you let in. So I love what this too shall pass was a saying of Abraham Lincoln. This too shall pass. And you want to overcome that negative self-talk.
So they kind of go, those two kind of go together. So you don't have to just accept this. And I think part of it too is just being aware that you're even having those thoughts too.
Yeah.
You know, because some people it's so ingrained.
And I love a lot of what Tony Robbins says is what's great about today. And he makes you think, what's great about today? And what am I grateful for? And you just start thinking of things you're grateful for. And pretty soon your chemistry starts to change. And just controlling that mindset is really important. Have an attempt to do something new is really helpful, because it challenges your mind. Anytime you do something new, it can kick up your dopamine, which is your reward system in your body, the neurotransmitter for reward.
So it's kind of almost distracting. You're not just sitting there thinking about yourself, like you talked about too, or are they helping others saying, and sometimes you just need to get that focus outward instead of inward, and that can make a big difference for folks.
Another thing was being your authentic self. It sounds like a psychological show here, but it really is important. People wear masks, or they're not being truthful with themselves, or they're in a job that they just don't like it. Maybe their job causes them not to have all the integrity they think who they really are. So those things can really cause depression, because you feel like, well, I have to work, I have to earn an income, but I don't like what I do. Those kind of things can really affect you. So being authentic is critically important.
So to kind of put a positive spin on it, you can almost see if you're feeling some of these things, maybe it's a symptom that there's something in your life that you need to change. It's kind of a warning flag, like maybe that job isn't the good thing, or maybe something in your life isn't right, and you know that deep down.
So it's really good just to ask yourself, what is going wrong? What in my life? What are the 5 things that are bothering me? Write them down, and then you'll probably find out some answers and conflicts that are going on, that when you get in a better place with those, that'll help your moods and depression.
You can go ahead and take some action on it, and taking action will also help you get out of the depression. Well, stay with us. We'll have more great tips right after this. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking today about natural solutions for depression, and we've got some great things so far. We talked about just how your mindset could improve so much. And I think going along with that, let's talk a little bit about kind of the traditional behavioral therapy too you can get from a psychologist, because that kind of sometimes behavioral can change your mindset too.
Yeah, actually the research was pretty good. Talking it out really makes a difference. Life coach, and sometimes people will say, oh, I don't want to go to a therapist. There's something wrong with me if I go. And I think it's really a good idea to check in with a therapist, because nobody gets their thinking straight all the time, and they could really keep you on a better path.
So definitely something worthwhile to check out there too. And thinking about just what you can kind of do in your own head like that, let's talk about meditation, because I read a lot about how meditation helps depression as well.
Yeah, it actually, meditation is quite valuable in helping calm brain waves and reset your nervous system. So that's been shown in the studies to be quite effective.
How much time do you think people need to allow for that?
Well, that's the challenge. It
Yeah.
gets too stressful if you go too long.
Don't make yourself depressed about it or stressed about it.
I knew one person who went 2 or 3 hours a day, but she was very relaxed, but she didn't get anything else done.
Yeah. But maybe that was her priority,
It may be. That's fine. No judgments from me.
But I guess anything you can do is got to help a little bit.
But even just a few minutes, even taking a deep breath and let it all out can really reset you. So.
Yeah, so we'll do. There, I did it, Dr. Patterson. Okay, so what other things can we do? Now we can easily take a deep breath every day. We can also try to eat right. So let's talk about how diet can help, because we
Diet's
talk about
got
that a lot
a whole
on this
bunch
show.
of stuff for depression. Remember the show Super Size Me? Where the individual ate 30 days of fast food burgers and fries and sugar. And within 30 days, this guy who was not prone to depression got depressed.
Oh, he did? Oh,
he got depressed.
okay.
He gained like 40 pounds.
I remember
got
that
depressed,
part.
and his blood levels went really bad, and they were telling him he better get off of this or he's going to die.
Wow.
Within 30 days, that's all he ate. So it really makes a difference. So limit those carbohydrates and those trans fats and the sugars and the starches that just aren't healthy. Eat the real foods.
Just the processed stuff.
Yeah,
in
don't
general,
skip any meals, because you need regular nutrition, because blood levels will affect, sugar levels will affect your moods.
Being hangry.
Yeah. Avoid caffeine. That's hard on you. Alcohol is considered a depressant. We always hear that.
Yeah,
and
that
that's an
surprise
issue.
me. Yeah.
Some things that have really helped is eating a serotonin enhancing diet.
Oh, this is interesting. What types of foods are we talking about?
Coconut oils, high protein, free range turkey with the tryptophan
Really?
in it, and then omega-3 fish oils.
That omega-3 again. We do talk about omega-3 a lot on this show.
Those are serotonin enhancers. And then green tea.
Okay.
Green tea has
That
beneficial
helps.
effects. And a lot of people are low in folate. If they have a lot of alcohol, often their folate will be low in their blood, and also their B12 is low. So supplementing with those, especially if they have a lot of alcohol, will often help with the depression.
Interesting. So it sounds like, the alcohol doesn't surprise me, but caffeine kind of surprises me because it kind of boosts you, but I suppose there's a crash inevitably. So that's not a good thing.
And trans fats were another big one.
Oh,
trans fats, that bad diet with the poor quality fats really can lead to depression.
Yeah.
And then another study in the Indian Journal of Psychiatry, they took people for 6 weeks and put them on antioxidants, and they had a significant change in depression levels. So it's the blueberries, the blackberries, the goji berries, those kind of things that really made a difference too. Antioxidants themselves were shown to be helpful. So it's almost like we're depressed when we're depressed nutritionally.
It would make sense because your body, your brain needs all these things to function properly, and you couldn't really expect it to without it. So it seems like if you're following a lot of Dr. Pat's advice in general with diet, it's going to help you quite a bit too. Well, stay with us. We have even more right after this. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen, talking natural ways to alleviate your depression. So we talked a little bit before the break about diet and how much that can help. And I'm always amazed, no matter what we talk about, no matter what we're trying to help, diet's almost always in there. So you just want to get those good foods into your body.
Exactly.
It's amazing what that can do for you. And if you want to kind of supercharge it, I'm imagining supplements can help too, right?
Yeah, there's some certain things that show to be really important, and I don't mean to overdo it. I always talk about omega-3s.
I was going to say, let me guess, omega-3s, vitamin D you always mention. and probiotics.
Probiotics. And all
three?
three of them in the study show very good results. In fact, in one study, 50% improvement in depression by upping omega-3s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And then B12, of course, we mentioned that. B complex in general, vitamin D, critical. There are some other things that people have heard of. One is SAMe, it's called, and that it can help with depression. It's a supplement, but you have to be a little careful with other medications.
Okay.
The St. John's wort is much the same way. We've heard of that herb helping, and it's used in Europe a lot. But again, the concern is it may clash with any medications you're taking. So any of these things should be done under supervision of your doctor. 5-HTP is another one.
It's really technical ones.
Yeah, I don't even want to tell you the long name of it.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
But 5-HTP actually turns into serotonin, which helps elevate your moods.
Wow.
So there's a lot of things like that. And then there's oils. Actually, there are many people that are interested in essential oils.
Like aromatherapy type oils?
Yeah. And lavender.
Oh, I love lavender.
Bergamot. And ylang ylang, is that Y-L-A-N-G?
That's in a lot of perfumes. You can almost find an antidepressant perfume.
And so Dr. Axe talks about rubbing that on your body or using it as a diffuser, and putting it in a diffuser and having that go through your house. And it says there's studies that show it helps.
Yeah, why not? And freshen your house at the same time. So it's better than those chemical air fresheners, which you would shy away from.
Yeah.
Dr. Pat never wants you to use those. So let's talk about exercise. I definitely want to hit that because you always hear exercise, 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 lift your mood, get more energy.
John Rady, a Harvard psychologist, says if you exercise 3 times a week, it is equal to antidepressant results.
Wow.
Without the side effects in almost every study.
Wow. Like half hour? Does that have to be
about
long
half
time?
hour?
Oh,
half
so
hour.
It's doable.
Of cardio, biking, stair climbing, jogging. But certainly even a brisk walk stimulates your body. So if you can do that, the tests show that it really helps rewire your brain, helps boost your endorphin levels, and helps with depression. Exercise is huge.
And I think the hurdle you'd have to get over is that one of the symptoms of depression is that you don't feel like doing anything and that you wouldn't feel like getting up off the couch. So I think you would just have to take that leap of faith and just start. It might take a while.
I like the 5-minute rule. I only have to exercise for 5 minutes. I can do that. And then after 5 minutes is up, you probably feel like doing more.
Yeah.
But you give yourself permission to quit after 5 minutes. That helps get you started.
Yeah, because you feel like, well, I'm already wearing my exercise clothes. I might as well just do it. So, and I don't want to leave here without talking about how chiropractic can help too. We've got this year. You may have met our friend Slim, but this is Bones.
Yeah, he's a half brother of Slim.
Good one, half brother. Slim is a full body.
But when we do an adjustment on the spine, particularly in the upper neck here in the atlas area, the brainstem pulls down if you lose the curve in your neck. It tractions the brainstem and actually pulls down and causes venous pooling. So that venous pooling is right where the nuclei that produce serotonin are.
Wow.
So you don't produce serotonin very well. So when we adjust the neck, we help improve normal serotonin production, which helps you elevate your mood. So there's a lot of information with that. Plus, we know that cortisol levels are high in people with subluxations, and when we adjust them, their levels of cortisol go down, and it boosts their oxytocin, their dopamine, their serotonin, and vasopressin. So that's why chiropractors, we say, are more brain doctors than we are spine doctors, because we're helping balance the chemistry in the brain, let alone improve the circulation of the brain.
So that would be pretty immediate, I would think. As soon as they get an adjustment, they're going to feel a difference.
And the highest endorphin producers, which make you feel good, they're right in the upper cervical region. So when we adjust those when needed, that really stimulates massive endorphin production.
So you can really help a lot of people.
It just resets their nervous system.
So lots of great advice today. So we hope we've helped you if you or someone you know is suffering. Well, stay with us. There's a little bit more right after this.
I hope you enjoyed our Maximize Living show on natural solutions. These are things that can be done right alongside your care that speed your recovery and prevent reoccurrences. One of the best things to speed recovery and prevent reoccurrences is chiropractic care. I recommend that every man, woman, and child have a chiropractic checkup to assess their spine and nervous system health. Please give our office a call at 608-833-1282 for a checkup. For Maximize Living, I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen. Until next time, live well and God bless.